shouldn't be doing something I've never done before. I want something to fuck me up. Need somebody to fuck me up. Everyone feels like it. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. I'm that little hayseed that you know from somewhere south of Chicago. Where do I go from here? The path it just ain't clear, so I wanna leave it all behind. Well, I might go and get drunk and stoned, 'cause it's better than being on the crazy. If I never come back, wherever I end up at is where I was supposed to be. I want something to fuck me up. Need somebody to fuck me up. You know just what I mean. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Fuck me up. Need somebody to.
Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, podcast fans of all ages. I'm Dave Monday. Thank you for joining us on the Political Deep Dive. Joining us tonight in black screen right now is AJ. AJ, how you doing?
Dude, come on. African American screen.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
we lost AJ. but
California at some point in time.
Hey, Brandy. Yeah. Hi, Ari, how you doing?
Rolling blackouts.
Yeah. No, Jesus Christ.
Welcome, Ari.
Yeah, welcome, Ari and Dan.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I am ready to talk some smack.
Talk some smack.
Yep.
Aren't you always?
I'm ready. Well, I'm ready to shoot some smack. I'm ready to talk some smack. And,
Smoke some smack.
yep. And maybe just smack myself around a little bit. Hey, AJ.
There we go.
We lost you there for a second. Your other
She's
screen
back.
is cycling.
From
Yeah.
outer
Good to see you,
space.
AJ.
Hi, nice to be seen. How are y'all?
Yeah, good.
Good. All right.
So, Dan,
Who's? Yes.
talk about the tea that you want to spill.
So, people who've been following the World Cup probably know that America had their best scorer removed from the game tomorrow because he got a red card in the previous game.
Yeah.
And it was kind of...
It was a shit call.
It was a legitimate penalty.
Well, it should have been reviewed. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
The process by which the penalty was given was... And it was... I mean, it wasn't like an intentional foul.
No, right. They should have given... They could have given him a yellow card.
Yeah, a yellow card.
But the red card was ridiculous. FIFA decided that they were going to overturn the red card.
Well, first they said that they weren't going to review it and that it was the red card stood. And then apparently their Gruppenführer contacted Gianni Infantino, the head of FIFA, to review the penalty. And as a Peace Prize winner of the FIFA, you get get out of jail free card.
Well,
get your for your country, I guess. I don't know. The Peace Prize, Piss Prize. I have no idea what the hell the FIFA Peace Prize actually entitles you to.
the interesting thing too is that this has been done once before. The
Tom?
Cristiano Ronaldo punched a guy during the scrimmage with Irish, punched him in the face, for which he was given a red card and a 3-game suspension. He should have missed the first 3 games of the World Cup. But for whatever reason, they decided to not. They tried to
people said
revoke
that.
his suspension.
Well, and people said that Lionel Messi should not have scored a hat trick in his first game. He should have been sent off early in the first game against I can't remember who they were playing, but Lionel Messi ends up scoring a hat trick in that game. But it was a pretty egregious foul, and it does talk about the star. Star players do get treated differently. We know that star players in all sports get treated somewhat differently than
Yeah.
the rank and file. Folarin Balogun is a wonderful player. He is going to be he is currently a massive star.
Yeah.
But he's going to be a bigger massive star after this World Cup. I don't like that Trump intervened. I think it does taint the World Cup to an extent.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Trump really intervened. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, somebody in the White House.
I'm certainly sure he's taking credit for it.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I agree with you on that one, Dan. Like,
I think
he loves to have his tiny little grubby fingers in so many different pots.
But here's the irony here. So this week during the Supreme Court's, orgy of decisions that were being handed down before the end of June, they affirmed birthright citizenship.
Yep.
Oh,
That was a dicey one. Like, we got five good decisions out of that one, and we got one that was kind of on the fence that leaves the door open to Congress making a law to outlaw birthright citizenship from Kavanaugh. And but Donald Trump, if he did intervene, he intervened on behalf of a birthright citizen. His parents were here in the United States on a vacation while his mom was like 7 or so months pregnant,
Wow.
and she couldn't leave. Like she had some difficulties, so it wasn't like an intentional, came here to have the baby. They were going to go back to where I'm not even really sure
all
where
of
they're
his children are anchor babies, so that doesn't matter.
from. Yeah. Well, it's rules
Yeah.
for thee and none for me.
Right.
When it comes to Donald
Absolutely.
Trump.
I
Right.
meant like the hypocrisy of everything. Just
It's-
currently is dumbfounding.
Yeah, because this is not the only time we've seen a rule where, and we've talked about, the idea of accusations becoming confessions. That everything they've accused, whether it's Democrats or people who oppose the Trump administration on its
Yeah.
face, that the Trump administration ends up doing. Like, let's talk Sleepy Joe. Just Sleepy Joe in and of itself. There was a couple of instances where Joe Biden fell asleep on trip.
Your audio is bad, Dave.
Yeah, your
Is it
auto.
naughty?
It needs
It
punishing.
makes me want to do bad things. You're fine when you're close to the mic.
I need to spank the audio.
Yes.
Nice.
Maybe increase the gain.
But yeah, Donald Trump certainly has made falling asleep during everything an art form.
Yep.
When they talk about how immigrants are they're not sending their best. What got sent to Washington this week during the Freedom 250? You see the Patriot Front show up. That's not the best.
No, those guys,
White. You meant white freedom.
those fuckers. Honestly, it was just
Cowards.
nauseating to see them. First of all,
Oh,
it's so silly that they took the subway. But
oh
then,
my gosh.
have you seen the picture of the African American woman on the subway with
Yes.
them? Just crazy.
yes.
Fucking. Well,
Brutal.
it's hard to park a Klan car that close to the close to the White House.
I mean,
though.
because they remember right when they got arrested in the truck.
Yeah, they're all in that that U-Haul
Well,
truck.
probably too hot to pack them all in a U-Haul this
It
time.
was hot. Holy
Oh.
shit, it was hot. Yeah.
I mean, right, because it would be funny if, the police, through their intelligence, knew about the raid, knew about the guys in the truck, and just locked it.
Oh,
let him cook a little while.
Exactly.
oh,
Yeah, no, that would have been cool. I would have loved to see that. These guys show up, and it immediately tripled the attendance of the Great American State Fair.
from 10 to 30.
Well-
10 to 30, yeah, is essentially like. It was funny watching the videos that were coming from this thing. That
The tons
know-
of people, as you can see.
JBH went, right?
I saw that. I will tell you, I would say probably about half the attendance of the Great American State Fair came from people clowning it. That went to it
That
to,
is
like
true.
there were some senators
Yes.
and some reps that showed up and were just kind of clowning it,
Right.
which was
I mean-
pretty cool.
If they took all the people who came to the state fair and they went to the local Arby's afterwards to try the new cheesesteak, the fire marshal would come in and like, that's okay. I don't see a problem here.
No problem here.
No
Arby's
occupancy
has a
rates.
new cheesesteak.
I mean, maybe it could be used for the LP Waffle House caucus.
Oh God. Well,
It-
I mean that's the funny thing is that the people who have been to DC who have on just a normal summer day or even like think about the Cherry Blossom Festival.
Right.
How many people are in downtown DC just for the Cherry Blossom Festival?
Well,
And
and
that's not even. This is the 250th anniversary of this country.
what's
This,
funny is they're showing all these pictures of crowds from yesterday, but people weren't there for the state fair. They were there for the fireworks,
Yes.
which they've been coming for forever.
yeah.
I mean,
I-
like for college, I volunteered for the Folklife Festival. There were several years that I went for the 4th of July as a translator for Francophone countries. Like when it was managed beautifully, and we would towards the castle, there was generally this one boat that they would bring out, and several of us would just sit there and watch it, and it was so well put together, it was so beautiful. And then there's that mess,
Yeah.
and it pales in comparison to what I ended up going to like 15-20 years ago. It's nothing like it.
Yeah, and again, this is the 250th anniversary of the country. It should have been. I mean, the first vivid news memory I have as a child was of 1976. Well, not 1776, but 1976. That was. I mean, one thing I didn't really see this entire week that I saw. You see in tons of news reports about the 1976 celebrations. The fife and drum corps, like I never saw any of that this week. I didn't see any of the normal celebrations. You didn't see and I get that the heat probably had a lot to do with some of the celebrations being canceled.
Well,
and you don't want to dress up in
NSO
wool uniforms.
Well,
in
NSO
105 degree heat.
NSO used to come. Like
Yeah.
we had for several years Leonard Slatkin, conducting. And like there was even more in terms of like the attendance, like not just the fife and that, just not them, but like people from National Cathedral would come and attend. There would be the choir from National Cathedral that showed up, and for a time there, like after stuff for like the Fairness of Marriage Act fell, there was the Gay Men's Chorus or the Gay Men's Choir. And it was this whole thing. It was beautiful. Like when I went one year, the people who ended up performing, some of the dignitaries that came, or even the first time that I went, as a teenager to the Silk Roads exhibit. Like they had so many people there experiencing what we had in connection to them and with them, and the beauty of the festivities itself.
Yeah, it feels like we didn't get a chance to celebrate 250 this year. Like,
No.
I think people. I mean, here in West Virginia, I heard there was. It sounded like we were getting invaded last night with all the fireworks going off. It sounded like we were getting shelled, and it was kind of a war zone here. But like the big celebrations that you would have anticipated for 250 years, a quarter of a century, or a quarter of a millennium, and it just didn't really material. Like, I don't feel like people are feeling the we're proud of our country, but we're worried as fuck about the direction of where it's going. Right?
It's interesting to watch. Like most people, I've been watching a lot of the European TikToks. Visitors for the World Cup.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of people in town, and they comment on 4th of July, and how it's a unique holiday. And they posted something. They posted 4th of July quotes from a lot of different presidents, and there was one, and I'm going to read it, and it's from the living presidents. This quote: "We're the only nation in history built not on ethnicity or blood or geography, but on an idea. That's always been what makes us exceptional. We chose that path 250 years ago, but that's where the work began, not where it ended. Every generation has had to choose it again."
I was listening to a broadcast this week, and they were talking about how in 2017, every year NPR posted not only posted the Declaration of Independence, but the entire Declaration. And they would record reading the Declaration of Independence, but they did it in a series of tweets, and then they did not only just the preambles and everything to the Declaration, but the grievances that are listed at the end that are the meat of why the hell we're getting the hell out of this thing. And people freaked the fuck out. The MAGA people freaked the fuck out, saying that I see how NPR is fomenting violence and speaking out against the president. And read the grievances at the end of the Declaration of Independence and see what's going on right now. And it's scary, like the number of things that are in the grievances that you could translate to today.
Yeah, I mean, there's that great quote that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And this is where we are. We haven't seen this exact same scenario because we're living in a new world in terms of technology. But we have seen strongmen populists rise. And we see that they recognize that their time at the top is going to be limited in a democracy unless they're able to suppress the democracy. And they have to do it either by manipulating the elections or manipulating the electorate. And in this case, both are happening.
Yes.
Well, this was something that not the whole point, but this was something that was brought up because there was a Shabbat service that I had on Friday for my synagogue, and we were talking about like the grievance portions of things, and like just the feeling that we end up getting from being able to voice them. And right now, like those voices, so many of them, whether they're LGBT or BIPOC or any number of different, identity groups, whether people agree with them or not, are not being able to be expressed. And like, I'll be truthful. Yesterday, I didn't do much of anything. The state of things right now for people within, my community has been not great. And I think about the forward trajectory of this country and what my ancestors came here for in the 15th century and how we're leading this now. And there's such belief in forward trajectory that people coming to a new land have, that they hope for the future. And I don't know if everybody has that hope right now.
I mean,
I know
politically, no.
most people don't. I think that there are a lot of people who are worried that we're the beginning of the end.
Yes,
And
completely.
the problem is that very few of those people, or not enough of those people in the past, have been willing to take constructive action.
Yes.
There's a lot of, and we see it right now. We see a lot of the Democrats. You know, it, it, I say this. I've said this a million times, and I don't even want to say it out loud anymore because it feels like it's going to have the Beetlejuice effect. But the Democrats really do have a chance to fuck this up still. You look at the Graham Plattner stuff. Or out where you live, AJ, in Colorado, right? There is a. I'm not sure if she is going to be your congressperson or not, but there's a woman who defeated the incumbent, who is a.
Mila.
Yeah.
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 Full-fledged Democratic Socialist. And
I think the
Full
Democratic
steam
Socialist
ahead with
stuff-
her. Full steam ahead.
yeah,
I don't
think-
think that we're going to be drowning in socialism. I do, however, think that we're going to have some younger ideas brought that can be worked in a way
I don't know. It's going to be
that
tough for her
everybody
to
will
run.
accept it like the roads.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for her
Well-
to run without the governor.
It's-
And
it's-
the governor's Jewish. That's a problem for her. And so
I think her district is enough that she's got the advantage there.
it's a
maybe.
strong blue district for
It's
sure.
a strong blue district. I think.
Yeah.
I think the headwinds right now still are very much in the favor of the Democrats as far as who's going to turn out in the election this year. But I think the concern with Democratic Socialists is being overblown because where you're seeing them be very successful is the places you would expect them to be successful in large urban areas. And
I disagree. I disagree. I think that that those are not. I mean, democratic socialism is antithetical to what the Democratic Party has stood for a long time.
sure, it's a sea change in the party, and
Right.
the Republicans have seen a sea change in the party just recently as well.
Right. I mean, that, right. And so
it
that's
happens. This is what happens when you have a bipolar
yeah.
party situation that they continually dance around one another. And whereas, back in the 1800s, the Democrats were the party of Jim Crow and slavery.
Right.
They've evolved. And the
Right.
Republicans now, if they had to do it all over again, would be super happy about the Confederacy or
Yeah.
Jim Crow.
Yep. No, that's 100% true.
But no,
That's-
I voted for
that's
her in the
something-
primary. So, yeah, I
that's-
know she is.
That's
Yeah.
something that I brought up with a friend actually yesterday, and she's a full member of the American Communist Party, Communist and Freedom Party.
Yeah.
And I'll give her this much. She really knows Civil War history. And she really knows this stuff. And yeah, we've had some interesting conversations on this.
I mean, it is the idea of, there's three components to it, right? The idea of more socialism, right? More government control of the economy.
Yes.
One of the Democratic Socialist platforms that they got rid of, but I expect will come back, is banning Uber. Taxis are the preferred idea because taxis are regulated by the government. Taxi drivers can earn a living. With Uber and surge pricing, it's difficult for people to have Uber be their full-time job. And so that's the socialist argument, that you don't want stuff like that because it hurts the workers. The flip argument, of course, is that Uber helps the consumers. And that's really the difference between the two brands. And you can make an argument for both sides. I can absolutely make an argument that the taxi system is better for the community because it means that people have jobs, that you can support your family. On the other hand,
I would say that towards the end with the taxi system, that it was so corrupt,
right?
And so expensive to get tokens to actually be a taxi
Medallions.
driver,
Yep.
medallions to do the job, that it became cost prohibitive to actually be a taxi driver without a monopoly. And I get that, at least when it comes to, I think there's a divide in where we see, we use the term socialist.
Yeah.
I think that generally, by and large, the socialists that when you start talking to them about what their true beliefs are, that's not a seize the means of production socialism. It is a let's have a system that works better for Americans that is much more like a Swedish model or Finnish model,
which isn't socialism.
Which is not socialism.
Yeah, if you ask Swedes, we're not socialists. Stop saying that about us.
There was a post.
But remember, liberal is a term that really described libertarian ideals rather than left policy. When it gets to America tends to fuck terms up.
Yeah, right. We are in many ways
libertarian originally meant anarchist.
Yeah, well, there's certainly a point in time that libertarian meant exactly what it said. We support people having as much liberty as possible. Liberal meant the opposite. It said that we believe that you should tolerate everything. We're not talking about what other people can do. Libertarians are focused on their own rights. Liberals are focused on other people's rights. And I grant you it's a subtle difference. For me, what I find is that the real democratic socialists are legitimate in what they say. And they're soft-pedaling socialism, because that's the way it works. In the same way that on the right wing, you have these assholes who are soft-pedaling fascism.
Yeah. I will also say that
I wouldn't say soft.
Get to a gilded age like we've seen, where wealth is being concentrated into the hands of a few, and it's being abused.
Yep.
And the reaction back in the late 1800s to the middle 19 teens was a rise in socialism until we started making that shit illegal. We saw governors and congressmen that were actual socialists being elected to office it's a response to it, that when you have huge wealth inequality, when you have people abusing the system as they have been doing, I think this is a natural response that people are like, whoa, we've allowed. I think the people that believe in capitalism have allowed the bad actors to run roughshod. It's like when people complain about the Second Amendment. When there's a school shooting and there's something happens with the Second Amendment, it's like, well, they always want to take away our rights when a school shooting happens. It's a reaction to what is happening in the news. It's a threat. Where people are feeling economically insecure, they're going to start looking for other systems.
Yeah, and that is a completely legitimate rationale. I think that there is, without question, a fundamental break in wealth distribution, and the fact that crony capitalism, what we've been doing, essentially is the government working to benefit corporations.
Yes.
And if the only way to defeat that were socialism, I would support socialism. But what I know is that whenever people say the only way we defeat the problems in government is with more government, shit gets worse. It always does. And so maybe, I mean, and here's the thing, right? I would hope this is the most frustrating part about it is that for those of us who have been in favor of smaller government forever, we keep seeing the transition from one party to another, and we have dug these foxholes that we use to say we're going to sit here and we're going to defend the rights of people. And when a Republican gets elected, the Democrats want to fight against him. They jump into our foxholes, and they find libertarians there. They're like, wow, it's awesome. You guys are sitting here defending the rights of freedom. Like, yep, that's what we've always done. And we're going to help you. We're going to stand up against the government. They're like, awesome. You guys are great allies. And then a Democrat gets elected, and the Democrats get out, and the Republicans come and jump in the foxholes with us. And they're like, oh my God, you guys, thank you so much for standing up for gun rights or whatever. And then a Republican gets elected. And the Democrats come and jump in and they say, oh my God, thanks for standing up for LGBT or standing up for
anti-war. Yeah,
anti-war.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And the problem is that I had some illusion. I actually had this illusion in 2016 where I thought to myself, you know what? As much as Trump is going to suck, it's going to be good for the country. Because it's going to make Democrats realize that big government is problematic and that they made Trump by making big government possible. But that's crazy because I was hoping to get under Obama saying that, Jesus, Republicans, you should realize that you enabled Barack Obama by everything that happened during 8 years of Bush, which happened because of 8 years of Clinton.
Yeah, we've got to get to a point, and we'll get to our main topic about what we see in the future in a minute. But when I think when it comes to because right now it's all hands on deck when it comes to fighting and what's going on with Donald Trump. You're going to be seeing some strange alliances over the next few months, and I get that. But let's put some brakes on what's going on with this country and figure out what the fuck's going on. But as we get into 2028, we've got to really start pushing for people who are going to start dismantling the executive, the presidency,
But so here's the thing: how do you know whether or not somebody's going to do that?
That's you gotta get out there. You gotta ask the questions. You gotta get out there and do your research. Will someone lie to you? I'm sure.
Well,
Absolutely.
not just lie to you, but I mean, what are they? I don't think there's anybody out there in the mainstream party. I mean, think of who are
I've heard
smallest government advocates. And
I've heard some people say that the big thing is to rein in the presidency and rein in some of the powers of the presidency. And we've been talking about the ideas of executive orders. If you issue an executive order, the Congress has to vote on it within 30 days. If you issue, getting rid of executive orders except for super, and again, 30-day must be voted on by Congress. Where there are things that definitely need to be done, and I think my hope is, and this may be naive and may be foolish of me to think, but I think people are seeing what's going on with the presidency and seeing that, if we, whatever your flavor of Democrat is going into 2028, whether it's Gavin Newsom or Josh Shapiro or somebody that we're not even thinking about right now. Because remember, Barack Obama came almost from nowhere 2 years prior, being elected senator for Illinois. We may not even be thinking about the next president at this point. And the hope is let's get some people in office that actually look at what's going on and don't want to 4 years down the line when let's say the economy goes even further in the tank and the Democrats are punished back out of office, that you just return another despot to, you return a MAGA adjacent person to the White House or into Congress. Like,
Right.
There are certainly things that people you can't just look at this government and say, yeah, everything's working. You just need to elect the right
Well,
people. That's just that kind of thinking doesn't work anymore.
I think part of the other problem is that you know, there is supposed to be a check and balance on executive orders, but it's not supposed to be the legislature. It's supposed to be the judicial branch, and you know, the judicial branch has blocked several executive orders. You know, they
Yeah.
That he's ignored.
well,
Oh
no,
God.
but like the travel ban, and
Well, I mean,
um,
he's the immigrant who was
sure,
sent over, Kilmar Abrego Garcia,
Yeah,
was
that only
sent over
took what,
despite the
7 months,
yep, yep,
something like that. You
yep,
know,
that's true. But I mean, obviously, that wasn't an executive order, right?
Well,
Um,
he was removed under the executive order,
Yep, he
Yeah.
was.
the
and then
right. It was,
well, he was removed under the executive order.
The executive-
There was
but
another
also-
another court case that
Yeah,
said you
but
can't
also
take him
that-
overseas.
that
And then they
executive
did.
right. That executive order wasn't illegal. We don't like it. It sucked. But that executive order essentially said you can deport people who are here illegally. Or deport people who are here illegally.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you didn't give anybody due process.
Due
To,
process.
Well, that part's
That was
100%
the whole-
true.
yeah.
And people are entirely responsible, entirely entitled to due process.
Yes.
And we've seen the court do some good things in that shape. But I do think also the court is another case where we did have checks and balances, and they've somewhat fallen away because of, you know, three members of the court who are going to serve 40 years.
Yeah. There's, I think there's going to be a push. Let's start talking about what do you think the next 250 years of this country look like? I think in the in very near future we're going to see a even harder push to stack the court, to increase the court size from either
from 9 to
13,
13. Yeah.
13 or 15.
Right.
13, the original court size was set to the number of districts, which at that time was 9. Now it's 13. So you can make a case that going up to 13 is kind of based off the natural progression of the court circuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
I don't know.
I don't think that should
I-
be above reproach either. I don't think that they should be able to accept, big
I'd be
much
more-
vacations and yachts and shit.
I'd be much more
Right.
amenable to terms.
Yeah,
or-
I
or
agree. I
age
think a
limit.
20-year. I just think a 20-year term. Is
Term
perfect.
limit, yeah.
I don't know.
I think
Like
everything
people,
should have a term limit.
Yeah,
I don't
mean, and the
think
thing
people.
is,
I
Go ahead,
don't
Ari.
think people are very amenable to like. As much as they say they want to be able to have change here in this country, when it comes to it, when it comes down to actually getting the person in that you want to be able to affect that change,
Yep.
it's been extremely slow. Like it's taken decades, if not over a century, to be able to really see the effects of Reconstruction.
yeah,
It's taken so long for even like women to have right
Suffrage.
and
I mean,
access.
how long did it take for women to get suffrage from the time of the convention to the amendment passing was what?
I know.
Was 80 years?
no,
How many-
well, which I'm talking 1989 from ratification till 1919. Right, 1789 is ratification of the Constitution. 1919 is the 20th.
Yeah, but I
19th
mean, like
Amendment.
from the was it the Syracuse Convention or the
Seneca Falls.
Seneca Falls Convention?
Yeah, it
that-
really
to that
bothers
point-
me that I knew what you meant.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Where it got
And-
organized and we
and-
were
and-
able to affect change.
Let's also give a shout out here. It ain't over. This illusion we have that
Oh, yeah.
really, you're right. we fixed everything, and women have it just as good or bad as men do. Yeah, that's some bullshit.
No,
Here,
absolutely.
so here's what I hope will happen in the next 250 years. Actually, here's what I hope will happen in the next 12 years during the Fishman presidency. Um, I am only going to
Giving
appoint.
yourself a third term?
No. I'm not running until 2032. Just
Okay.
because of the numerology of it.
There you go.
The all the Supreme Court people that I appoint, I'm going to ask them to swear that they will only serve 20 years. I want to get it on the record. I swear on my children's lives that I will only serve 20 years. I will not recant that, no matter what, etc.
How,
And if they
I
don't
mean,
want to
how
do
many
that,
how many people
you
ran
meant
into,
you meant
in-
a verbal agreement?
well, I
Yeah.
mean, I want to do it like in an interview with them
Yeah,
when
how
I'm
many-
interviewing people.
how many
Again,
congressmen
verbal
in
agreement.
the 94 contract of America who swore up and down that they were going to honor their term limits, that they were only going to run for a couple of terms, and I think
It's
are
true.
still there.
It's true, but hopefully you're appointing somebody that you trust them to keep their word.
Sure.
Yes, AJ.
Or at the end of 20 years, you remove them.
That part is
You
hard to
physically
do.
But how do
pick the
you?
motherfucker up and remove them from the office. Ta-da! And you
What-
don't let
what-
them come back in. No, sweetie, you don't work here anymore. No, sweetie, you don't work here anymore. You know,
do a
and
formal-
that's
do
a
honest to
formal
God. Pick
eviction?
them up and move them.
Unfortunately, all those people are very litigious by nature.
This is true.
Well,
that's true.
then we will turn around and sue them for making our big buddy, whoever his name may be, pick them up and move them when they said at the end of that 20 years they were going to leave.
I
So-
would, yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to see if you could make them legally sign a contract
That would be the
Think that
ideal.
everything
With-
should be a contract.
with a financial penalty if they didn't do
Absolutely.
Or
I don't know.
electrodes
Maybe a
attached to their
physical penalty.
genitals.
You have to roller skate.
it.
The beating shall continue until
For Alan Bruce.
Congress changes.
Oh, I will make it absolutely absurd
Yeah.
punishments. But yeah, like it needs to be absurd. You mean you haven't had enough after 20 years? You mean you forgot your promise? Well, this will
Yeah.
help you remember. I came from a small town where judges would use shame on people that stole from Walmart. And guess what? Those motherfuckers never stole from Walmart again.
There's a famous footage on YouTube of a woman who is a judge, and she's trying a case. And in Florida, they have cameras in the courtroom, and this guy is up there for shoplifting, and then she says to him, she's like, "Did you by any chance go to Wallace Elementary?" And he looked at her. Have you seen that tape?
Uh-huh.
It's just amazing, and you're right. It would be great to have. And I'm gonna circle this around and put a dot in it here. It would be great to have that sort of pride in our personal character again. One of the things that Europeans talk about, and visitors for the World Cup, it's mostly Europeans because I can understand that they're doing most of the TikToking, etc. But I've seen some from the African nations as well, where they talk about 4th of July and how everybody comes out and it's a parade. And you can go to Walmart, and Walmart is celebrating 4th of July. And they're like, all these people here, when we had, and, for those of us who are old, AJ won't remember it, but for you and me, Dave, when we were young, 4th of July parade, everybody was there. Everybody had everything in common. They're like, we're here because we want to celebrate America. We want to celebrate this idea. And if we could find a way to get back to that, that would be great. If we could restore the American character. The problem is that character has been marginalized. Character.
It's
Go
not
ahead.
just the character. I mean, I think, one of the things that has everyone on edge in the United States right now is the fact that where did the middle class go? Where did the American dream go? And I think people are finding it harder and harder. People are just surviving right now. They're just trying to make it.
Just month to month.
So many people are trying to just make it.
Yep.
And
Yes.
but who the American dream of buying a house and having a car and 2.4 children and all that stuff, and that stuff is gone. Like it would.
I've
Like-
got you one. People, I'll show them my little garden in my apartment. Those pots of dirt are probably the only land I'll ever own, because I am a millennial and because life choices,
Yeah.
choices, and
Well-
here we are.
I want to stand up for you a little bit here, in that I don't like to say that it's just life choices. A lot of it is the bullshit of the system.
Yeah.
And the bullshit of the system is legitimate, and we should be complaining about it, and we should really want to fix shit. Okay, because there are a lot of things that are always going to be broken in a large society. Because when you get this many people together, shit's going to break down. One of the things I say all the time: American-style democracy does not scale to 360 million people. There's no
True.
sense of responsibility.
Not
The
when you
way
limit the representation that they have, like, as we have.
Well, you limit the representation, but also just on a scale. The idea that one government would be making rules for 360 million people is ridiculous. It's why the founders in the beginning deliberately limited the powers of the federal government to said just this stuff.
Yeah.
Because if we give the government power over licensing, if we give the government power over education, if we give the government power over the Jones Act, right? International waterways, we're really screwing all sorts of shit up for everybody. If we give the government power over immigration, right? Immigration used to be the function of the states. Every time that we increase the size of government, things get worse. Because the people who run government are the worst fucking people on the planet. They're the people who wanted the job. Mark Twain famously said, the only good thing about a monarchy is occasionally you get a ruler who didn't want the job, who didn't have a lifetime of planning what I'm going to do when I'm in charge.
Yes.
And here, the way it works is that we elect people who can win elections. And the
I
one
mean,
thing-
I would still love the idea of you wake up January 1st of 2028. You walk down to your mailbox, you open the mailbox, you pull out a card that says, "Congratulations, you are the representative for West Virginia's 1st District for the next 2 years." And it's
Well,
jury summons. And
look-
it's you get people who are there that probably want to go home.
I mean, let's talk about that, because in the next 250 years, I do wonder about that a lot. Do we really need representative democracy anymore?
I mean, yeah, let's. I mean, so
Could we have
250
direct
years, I mean,
democracy? Could
we're getting-
everybody vote on their cell phone?
We're getting closer to the idea that with technological advances, that one, you don't need a far distant capital
Yep.
that makes all the decisions in everyone's lives, whether it's a national capital or even a state capital.
Yep.
Because I will tell you,
Wait,
my capital is
wait.
not that far from me, or that
Wait,
is way far.
I don't like this idea. Mitch McConnell text. We don't know if that was from him. We don't know shit.
Well, no, but you can do that securely.
And I know that there can be secure communications. I worked in a doctor's office and
it's
we
not
had
even
that.
secure
And everything.
communications. You
But-
can ensure that a person who votes on their cell phone is the person who they say they are.
Yes, I know. I came from Tennessee where you got an ID for Pornhub. So yeah, I know we can all be verified.
Right.
And that's fine. I just think that it's a terrible idea to give that to representatives.
Well,
No.
Just-
we would get
just
rid of
think
all
about-
representatives.
yeah. Well, just think about it this way:
You vote for yourself.
those 90-year-old people don't understand technology enough to vote. So
Right,
they-
exactly.
you might return the
You
technology.
eliminate the old person vote. And B, I mean, unfortunately, what it means is that as usual, really what happens right now in elections is that winning an election is all about get out the vote, right? It's all about getting your people to vote and getting the other people not to vote. And it'll still be that way, but if in order to vote, you have to validate your identity and then you get a ballot on your phone and you have to fill it out right then, that
That's actually
seems
already happening. The
it
in
does
West
happen in
Virginia
some
does.
places.
Yeah, West Virginia does.
You can vote on
mean,
your cell phone?
Yeah, app voting for overseas.
How can a state where 55% of the people don't know what a toothbrush is be able to vote on this? Sorry.
This.
Our Secretary of State a number of years ago wanted to be able to make it easier for overseas military to vote, and then it got expanded to people who have blindness issues and
Yeah.
health issues that prevent them from
Wow.
voting, which is that's an amazing thing. And when
Yeah,
you think
it's
about
really
what
good.
has turned over within the Republican Party, the idea that just mail-in voting is this just awful thing, which another good decision by the Supreme Court was to uphold mail-in voting and not put onerous
I
rules on it.
concur.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. Again, there's some sketchy
But
fuckers on the
is
Supreme Court that
voting-
voted against it.
Is voting ever perfect?
Yeah, well-
Yeah, right. Right. I mean, there's 100% that point of it, that voting still is fundamentally bad because democracy is the excuse for every excessive power, right? An important thing to remember here at the 250th anniversary of the United States is that 260 years ago, 95% of the people in the world lived under the thumb of a tyrant.
Yeah.
Now we introduced the idea of actual elections. I mean, all right, the Brits have some elections. The Brits had some elections, but we
What if
introduced
we
the
just
idea.
took all the money out of it?
Yeah, that would be a great way to do it. If
That
we
was
had
a
I
bad
mean, that's
decision.
kind of how I'm voting anymore.
Like,
If we-
Who donated
give
to
them
you?
the lowest minimum wage possible.
well, no, but
Actually, don't give them a wage at all.
no, because then who do you elect? The people who don't need the money.
Uh,
Yeah, if you don't pay people, you elect the people. It becomes only the wealthy.
Pay them what the middle paid nurse or teacher makes in their district.
Ben and Jerry's used to have this rule that their CEO could only make 7 times as much as the lowest paid employee in their
Yeah.
state. I would say, you know what? Let's say 10 times minimum wage.
Well,
Or-
here's what I do, because I've long advocated
I make 10
expanding the
times
number of
minimum.
representatives in the United States from
Right.
400. Let's triple it. Let's triple it to almost 1,500 representatives. But then you drop the annual salary to 50,000, because right now it's about almost 175,000. I think it's the annual salary for a
Ooh.
representative. You drop it by a third or split that by threes, then you provide dorm housing for those representatives
Yep.
to live on site or close to the Capitol, and then they expand the Capitol, make the chamber bigger, because I know that's one of the arguments. You can't fit that many people
How,
there.
how
You
about
can make
this?
it bigger.
How about this? How about if you get elected to federal office, your tax rate immediately becomes 80%?
I mean, that's good. I mean, there are other ideas, and these are immediate ideas. I think, looking ahead 250 years, the concerns that we have now are going to be trivial compared to those days. But the
Right.
the
I mean, what
idea
are we
that
talking about our robot overlords.
yeah, yeah, we'll have to pull that thing from the back of our
but Larry
head
and
to be able
Jihad.
to.
But Larry and Jihad. But
Yeah.
Larry and Jihad.
But yeah, I think bans on the congressmen and senators investing in the markets, like the idea
Oh,
that
God.
they are enriching
they've
themselves
still-
off of insider trading.
Well,
Yeah.
but,
But when you have power, you find ways of wielding it.
Sure.
those markets only exist because of excessive government authority. Right?
Again,
There should be no SEC. There shouldn't be no stock market. If people want to invest in companies, fucking go talk to the people and invest in them. But companies should be doing that themselves.
Sure.
when we set it up with a government regulated market, and the worst part about it, right? The government regulated corporation. And by that, I don't mean that corporations shouldn't be regulated. I mean that corporations shouldn't exist. Because the only reason for a corporation to exist legally, well, there's two reasons. One is perpetuity, right? If I have a business, when I die, I have to give the business to somebody else. Okay? It doesn't live on without me. But a corporation has an infinite life because it has board members. So corporations exist so that there's a continuity, but they also exist so that they can have limited liability. Limited liability means that you can't sue them for all the damage that they've done. And where do they get that power of limited liability? It is an extension of sovereign immunity, which the
Limited
government
liability sounds an awful lot like qualified immunity.
It is. It is.
Oh,
Well,
God.
qualified immunity also extends from the fundamental principle of sovereign immunity, which is the idea, and it's common law, that the sovereign can say, I cannot be sued because le droit seigneur, the right of
The
god.
twat. What?
Le droit. I'm saying it
twat?
wrong. Fans, help me out. What am I saying? The right of kings in
Ah,
French.
la droit.
Le droit.
Le
I
droit
thi- I think the
le droit
le
du,
droit.
you said the
I said
the,
seigneur, but I'm not sure that's it.
yeah,
Some-
so it actually means the left hand of God. De la Seigneur. No, and this means the
Is it?
Let me just see. The right of kings
Divine
in
right.
French. Divine right, yeah.
rien, le roi.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to
Le
To-
about the
droit,
left?
le droit du
Right.
roi.
I'm going to finish the other point and recognize the fact that Ari's French is better than mine.
That's
Je
true.
suis très désolé. The
Louisiana.
Parce que je suis un grand oui.
the corporation, right, sovereign immunity, the idea that the government can choose to be above the law, that's also what's fundamentally broken. And it fundamentally is broken because government itself exists. And maybe in a better technology future, we don't have to have as much government because the people can govern themselves. And if we have to get together and decide on something, we can take votes amongst ourselves under direct democracy instead of having.
None of us are dumb as all of us, though. Sometimes.
No,
But you can't
nope,
you can't
nope.
discriminate against the stupid.
No.
But direct democracy sucks.
It sucks except for all the other things. The problem, I mean,
No, it just sucks.
it-
No.
hopefully,
Oh.
hopefully in a direct democracy, it becomes paralyzed.
Oh, bless your heart, darling. Oh, bless your heart.
You went from French to like way down yonder.
Oh.
Well,
I meant
you know,
I could actually I meant
I love
so direct democracy is just it's not sustainable. Like the mentality that I have, especially towards like electoralism and that kind of thing, it's ugh. I just no. It's
I don't know. I think there are some ways that direct democracy, like I know Taiwan. You've talked about Taiwan, where they, you can let your representative know where you are on this issue, and it's more that.
but that's more communication than direct democracy. Like
Yeah,
that's
no,
just
I'm
being
not saying
able-
that they get the vote on the bill on the floor, the whatever the legislature of Taiwan is. I'm just saying that yes, there needs to be improvements in
Well,
how we can communicate to our, and Dan's
and-
got a solution.
I mean, fundamentally, right? We actually do have direct democracy right now in the United States because the people can, via direct democracy, change the Constitution. Can't be stopped. The thing is that there's a high bar for it.
Organizations is the high bar.
Well, organization, but also just a vote count, right? You have to
Yeah.
have 75, 3/4 of the states have to approve changing the Constitution. That idea, again, in the Fishman presidency, right? The first thing I'm running on is I'm going to run as President Veto. I will veto every bill that comes on my desk, so that Republicans
Gary
and
Johnson?
Democrats. But no, my idea. I gave it to Gary, and he didn't use it.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. If you find somebody else claiming it, I suggested it to Joe as well and everybody else, but veto everything and require the Republicans and Democrats to work together to come up with 67% to override the presidential veto.
Yeah,
Because that's what we were supposed to be, a government of we the people, not we the party.
But
No, I
even
get-
then, like, there's still that power that's inherent with the electoralist system. Like, you still have to be able to consolidate that power within, the Congress, within the representative, democracy, within the republic, the representative republic. That just, I don't know. It's the veto might work, but it might not. It might backfire. It might end up causing even more of a consolidation of power. I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, yes, or aliens could come down and save us from ourselves, or I know you're about to say they already have, and we killed them. But
that's probably true.
yeah, I mean, here's right in the optimal future. In the optimal future, we would have real capitalism. And in real capitalism, as computers and robots, etc., step up, which they're going to do,
But landing
and let's I think, it's close to you, Dave, right? They're building the first fusion plant, or maybe it's in Tennessee. I don't know. Maybe it's Kentucky.
those
Those states are all the same.
Well, there's
It's just the South, whatever.
Exactly. Right.
Westinghouse is doing the
Tokamak.
short range thorium.
But that's
Westinghouse. That sounds like a fucking villain. I'm telling y'all. Like
that I
That's
have
actually
become,
the one
yeah.
for Rosie the Riveter. The poster was from them for Rosie the Riveter.
I
Westinghouse?
am convinced that fission is going to come online.
So-
Probably in my lifetime, and I say that as a former smoker. I think that, and when that happens, right? What we're talking about, and just for people who aren't aware, the idea of fission is it's the energy behind the sun. You put 3 units of energy in, and you get 4 units of energy out. We can do it in labs right now.
Yeah.
We can't do it on a large.
Sustainability.
Yeah, we can't do it on a large scale.
Yeah,
There are
and
a lot of
sustainability
people-
is
yeah.
the big issue. Like, I think they've gotten it to about an hour.
Right. There's a lot of people
Yeah, it's
who
very
think
short. It's very
that-
short term. It's high output,
right.
but very short.
But that's the nature of every scientific advance that we've had.
Yeah.
Is at first we prove we can do it.
Economies of scale. Yeah.
Exactly. And there are a lot of people who think that AI is going to greatly accelerate that process. So if we're talking about free energy, that changes the world so dramatically, right?
I just don't think they're going to let energy
Well,
be free.
But that's what I'm saying. Is that
no, they're trying to
that's
figure
where-
out a way to use AI and have us charge for every fucking question we ask. Like, yeah,
That's
we're never going to have free anything, y'all.
That's
No,
that's
I
where
meant
we get into.
you can
the
get
idea.
free stuff at a swap meet in Louisiana.
That's where the idea of having to protect pure capitalism, of legitimate capitalism, because otherwise, you see the opposite of what would happen, right? Which would be governmental control of whatever is the economy, whether it's AI or the quote unquote free energy. And I know that energy is already controlled through utilities and mostly state run. But the idea that we have to find a way to take that out of the hands of the people who would use it as a power base. We want to find a way to say, whatever is the thing, we want there to be competition. available for it. So, like, one of the great things that's happening in AI, right, for people who are using it, even though we can complain about China and AI, is that China has free AI
China.
for Americans, right? If you haven't used DeepSeek, recommend it. It's probably my fourth or fifth favorite AI, and it's pretty
Nah.
good. Yeah, I mean, it's.
I mean,
but
somebody finally convinced me and pulled me back into the politics game. I don't think I'll ever be convinced to be able to use AI on purpose.
I mean, you guys can do that. It doesn't matter. It is. It's like saying I'm never going to drive a car. It's the same thing. There are lots of people who did not drive cars.
But
Lots of people,
is it though?
100%. You are being so vastly outperformed right now by people using AI.
No, I'm
truly-
not. Come on.
But I'm
Have you
using my
seen my
brain,
artwork?
which makes
Have
me
you
think
seen my
that
artworks?
you
Come
use
on.
it or you lose it, right?
No,
So what's happening to y'all's college degrees if y'all aren't using it to actually do your own work?
You still have to use it. You still have to think. The difference is that the human AI
Well,
partnership.
then why don't we just?
It's
I
like
don't know.
you don't lose
I don't
your,
have to drink a gallon of water to
You
like
don't-
read something in a book.
you don't have to. You don't lose your legs because cars exist. You know the. I mean, look. I'll just use myself as an example. No, I don't want to do that. I know. Well, all right. I'll use it.
Good choice. Good choice,
I've
Dan.
increased the amount of money
very
that I
good
make
choice there.
by about 8 times since I've started using AI. Okay, and it's and I've helped lots of people do the
But
same
Dan.
thing. People who are accountants, people who are doing. If you work with computers,
I do.
AI can assist you so powerfully. I mean, you probably don't even realize that AI is already happening.
No,
behind the scenes.
actually, my coworkers and I are specifically choosing not to use it. I'm not
it's
going
fine.
to train Piper to do my fucking job.
Well, no, that's
Sorry.
that makes a lot of sense to it. That is a union type thing. It's the same thing as like the Teamsters who are saying we're opposed to automated trucking because automated trucking is going to take away all the trucking jobs.
It's so weird to me that in college and high school, my boys have not been allowed to use AI in any of their things to earn that degree, but people are running entire businesses using AI, and they were only able to get the job in those businesses because they had the degree. Do y'all understand how crazy that sounds?
So, without a question, there is a huge. I was just talking about this with Joe Jorgensen, and for 2 years, Joe was very anti-AI. And Joe is a professor at Clemson, and this summer we worked together, and I showed her. I'm like, this is how you can use AI. How you can let the students use AI. Now,
But-
here's the problem: if you let the students submit papers that they write themselves, you'll have no way of knowing whether or not they actually used AI or whether they know anything. So you're going to have to change your final exam where you sit down with each student for 2 hours and you have a conversation with them. And you find out whether or not they actually know what they're supposed to know.
That would
But they
be a
won't.
nightmare.
That was
What-
the problem. My fiance like just finished up with school, and he's like, there was one professor that pushed it like so prolifically that he who actually took the time to research and write got one of 2 A's in the class. Everybody else who ended up using AI was on the brink or failed because they didn't learn anything. And I know it's a small, sample of people, but
Yeah, I would agree. I will agree with you 100% that there are people out there who are like any tool, going to abuse it and use it poorly. And people hate to learn. A lot of people hate to learn. So if there's a shortcut around learning, right? Cheating is not a new thing in class.
it never has been.
Exactly. But the reality of it is, and I mean, this part is undeniable. People using AI effectively are vastly more productive than people not using AI. Now-
I'm gonna need I need a citation on that.
Well,
I'm gonna
so
need
let-
I'm gonna
let-
need
wait
a
a minute.
definitive
All right.
data and proof on that before I'm going to
So-
ever accept that.
So
Come on.
here's the thing. If you're talking about creating art, let's talk about what you're talking about creating, because you are a talented artist. You cannot tell me.
I'm making and designing right now a linoleum block carving for Izzy Alley to be able to support him after he's been detained by ICE.
Yep.
Like I'm gonna be starting and doing more work for Vermin.
Yeah,
Hopefully if anybody ever gets back to me.
those things are all great, and no machine can replace you in doing that sort of thing. On the other hand, graphic design work, letterhead, stationery, websites, the things that pay the bills, there's no comparison.
I don't know, because what I've seen, particularly with the graphic design for AI, I have a very keen eye for these things, and I've looked comparatively between stuff, and it can be on the borderline of decent, but it can't be the same as somebody actually creating letterhead.
That's like saying, you know what, Lord of the Rings sucked because it wasn't as good because it was computer generated images instead of
it wasn't.
animation.
Well, so here's the way I look at it, and we're talking about education. I think the discussion that we're having right now is kind of along the lines of back in, let's say, the late 80s, early 90s, that computers being introduced to the classrooms, and people are starting to learn and be able to research on classrooms and research on computers, EBSCOhost, and you have you have all the research at your fingertips, but you have to know how to look for that specific
100%.
piece of research. You can't just pop it into you could pop in a random term, but who knows what you would get out of it. But you need to know where to look at that stuff. So, I mean, you know where I'm at when it comes to data centers and the use of AI in things like art and music and things like that. Like I'm really uncomfortable with using it in creative stuff. But when it comes to research, when it comes to
Actual AI,
when it comes to crunching numbers, vast pieces of information together for research and things like that, I think there's some great tools that can be glommed from it. I don't think we need 75,000 data centers to achieve this stuff.
Right.
I think we need to.
That part is a different thing. But
Yeah.
here's a great example, and I know I've said it all the time, and you've all refused. Please watch The Learning Game. It's on Amazon right now. I think it's free on YouTube.
I know.
And talk about
all
the fact
there is to know about the
the-
learning game.
Yes. I think about that too. And then it's the crying game. It's the next.
It's
iteration of it.
it's not the learning
But-
game.
Think about the fact that AI folded every protein in existence. 250,000 proteins. Prior to DeepMind doing it, we had only folded 18 proteins in the history of mankind because the problem was that hard. And now AI has advanced medicine, according to the article in Nature, according to the Nobel Prize that was given to the team that did it, it has advanced medicine 250 years because they folded every single protein. So we can now make an antivirus to attack any virus that attacks any protein.
That JFK
there's
Jr. is
a
going to tell
difference.
everybody to avoid.
Yes.
There's a difference between what's being done there and what's being done on a small platform, an extremely small platform, to be able to go and write a paper. That sort of research is amazing. That sort of research is light years ahead of what is happening in terms of chat GPTs or any of this sort of work. That is legitimate, actual, really well thought out, formed, and well done artificial intelligence and artificial intelligent research. That is
Everything
what I want to do to be able to crunch numbers, looking at the social determinants of health and the propensity of individuals with different health conditions for homelessness.
The frontier models are doing that, Ari. They
And
just
I don't contend
and
that.
I'm happy to help
But
you if you have a.
frontier compared, like some of these things with that specific kind of research is light years ahead of a chat GPT or a Grok.
No,
It's not
that
even on the same playing field.
the stuff that we've got is 6 months to a year behind the very bleeding edge, and
No.
it's like it is. I mean, it just is.
I don't think it is. Like the background, the stuff that I've looked at and the stuff that I've experienced and the stuff that I've worked with previously on
But you just said you don't use it.
I don't use Chat GPT, but the
When's the
stuff
last
that
time
I've
you used
read
it?
about, but the stuff that I've read about and looking at some of the things that have
Those
been
articles are
described
made
as
by
like,
Grok, who's trying to disseminate to make bad information about ChatGPT.
That's a
Oh,
possibility.
so now
I
we
mean,
got to figure
that's-
out which AI to trust. No,
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
I'm good.
nah.
I mean, that's
Which rich
I'm-
person gets to have my information and my inquiries? And no, I'm good.
all
I'm
right.
good.
So before we wrap up,
Yeah.
before we let's do a couple prediction questions here.
All right.
Does the United States survive 250 more years?
No.
Yes.
No.
And it expands to include North and South America.
I don't think so. I think it survives. I don't know that it's going to be in the same form. I mean, Lord knows what happens. We may have the super volcano at Yellowstone that yeets a lot of people. But I think the United States, in some form, is still there. I don't know that it's going to be the dominant global hegemon that it is now. I think it may have points where it returns to a top spot, but I think we're really moving into more of a multipolar world that will probably hold for at least a number of years in the next few decades,
Let me ask you
whether
a
it's
similar
China
question.
or India.
Well,
I just hope
so
it
do you
doesn't
think-
become the expanse.
Do you think the PRC is there in 250 years?
Not. I don't think it's a communist country in 250 years.
Yeah,
I don't
that-
think.
so I agree with you.
Well, it's
in that
nominally a
100%.
communist country now.
Well, I mean, it's the strong central control. I think that breaks
Yeah.
down the first
I mean,
really
the collectivism.
the
Right.
first really huge financial thing that hits China is going to collapse it in on itself.
Hey, maybe we'll see.
But I think
maybe we won't.
but I think Taiwan is going to absolutely still be a player. At least they it.
I mean, they've been around.
That would be my most controversial thought, is that in 250 years, maybe the government of China is based out of Taiwan.
I actually think that we're moving towards decentralization. And so
I
the
can see
reason
that.
why I think the United States is going to include all these
I would
places
like
is
that.
because we won't have a strong central government. Instead, we'll go back to the idea that we're supposed to be states united, where all the federal government does is protect your individual liberties
I think
against
with
the states.
I also think with technological advances that our loyalties may not be to the United States. Our loyalties may be, we've seen countries like Estonia do, digital citizenships. I think you're going to see the expansion of digital citizenships where you can chart your own destiny as a who your allegiance lies with. This week
Yeah.
Cuba has the great sale on cigars. Let's hang out with Cuba for a while. They're like that.
Direct democracy.
Well, yeah, or at least direct,
Mm-hmm.
sovereignty. That
Exhausting.
If you have transferable citizenship, right? Which I agree. I think I think citizenship will be mostly nonsensical.
where you are.
I think it'll be a word that they look back and they view it that millennials 250 years from now will look back and say, why did they stick with citizenship in countries for
Well,
so
it's
long?
probably like well,
Such
I
a
better
how
not
we
be
look
alive in 250 years. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
well, it's probably how we look at how did people stick with being peasants and under feudal lords. Like I think that's kind of the way that we'll look at it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think that for sure. I mean, they'll look back at us and see the primitive parts of it, and I mean, if I'm hopeful, it's a Star Trek type future, right? We get to the point where money
Less
is
nuclear war to get us to that point, but
it's true. They snuck that in later, but in the original canon, but I think that the best solution that happens is that we have real supply and demand.
I think we
And-
just passed the date that of Star Trek where they actually kicked off
Yes.
the nuclear war. So
Yeah,
we're
It's
safe
a-
for now.
yeah.
We're safe
But-
for now.
As machines increase the supply of labor, and therefore increase supply enormously, things become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to the point that, a UBI, something like that, becomes the reality for 95% of the population.
Or you have
Again,
the machine
the
like
expanse.
you have the machine like in Star Trek that creates your food, makes your
Replicator, yeah.
the replicator.
Yeah,
Waiting for the holograph deck. There's some skeezy stuff going on in the holograph.
Oh,
What-
and I
the-
did finally find the thing for you, Dan, that was
Yeah.
the French, and it was completely different than what I ended up saying.
What was it, Trois de Seigneur?
No. Dieu est mon droit. God in my left.
And I appreciate that. Thank you for figuring that out. It is. I do believe in the idea, the fundamental concept of supply and demand, and that when you increase supply, demand. When you increase supply, prices become cheaper. And our long range goal is massive increase of productivity. And what will that mean? And if we allow capitalism to run everything, then everything's going to be super cheap because everybody who wants to will have the capacity to be amazingly productive.
Do you
people
need
who-
capitalism if you have like a replicator that says,
Yes, because if you don't
I
have
mean,
that,
you still have the Ferengis.
if you don't have that,
there you go.
the government
I was
will
about to say,
Emails.
they're still on this
if you
monetary
don't have
bullshit.
that, the government will control it. And like for example, look what's happening with government-controlled digital currencies, right? As opposed to regular digital currencies, right?
Yeah,
In a
we didn't even
government-
touch on Trump making how
Right.
many billion on.
Well,
Billions, yeah.
Fortunately, we've got 250 years
Yeah, we got 250 more years
to keep
to
talking
talk
about this.
it. Yeah.
But I mean, it is. You look at what was a good idea of digital currency, and then you see what happened with the government, and the government taking it over. And so now, right, you can't have a black market economy that runs on government digital currency because those people you can't get a wallet from the government. You can still have black market economy with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of that stuff, and that works great.
Yeah.
But when the government gets control, and that's why I don't want the government to control the replicators.
Yeah, but the replicator in Star Trek is, well, I meant tacitly because the ships are controlled by the Federation, which is the tacit government of Earth.
Yeah, but they don't. You don't see somebody like when they're a guest on the ship, the replicator not working for them.
Yes, you do. That's
Do you?
Deep Space Nine.
Okay. I confess I never finished Deep Space Nine.
I meant
sounds like
there
a
was
porn.
there was
I'm
a
sorry.
whole episode on the
The replicator, yeah.
the replicator malfunctioning.
Oh, but
Deep
so it was
Space
malfunctioning.
Nine-
Yes.
That's another example of why you wouldn't want to have just one version of replicator being run by one person or one
Yeah,
government.
exactly.
I agree.
I agree.
It's
I hope for balkanization. I hope for the
Yes.
fact that we won't have borders. Yeah, oh, no, yeah, it was in TNG as well. You are correct, Bandy.
They chased. Okay, all right. Look, I'm down with replicators. If we can get to that point,
Post-scarcity.
that'd be great. Yeah. But I don't know. 250 years from now is going to be. I don't know that we, like one of the things I always wonder about is space. What kind of improvements are we going to see from our. I think we're going to understand a whole lot more about the universe.
Yep.
In 250 years, I think James Webb and whatever successors are there to tell the tale will expand our. I don't think we're going to be anywhere close to still identifying whether there's life in the universe.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with. I think the basic laws of physics.
And we won't be handshaking unless they come here.
Well, and I still think that's unlikely, just because again,
So
basic laws of physics.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has an interesting piece of advice concerning aliens. If they have something sticking out, don't grab it and shake it, because you do not know what piece of anatomy you are touching.
I agree with that 100%.
I for the most part like him.
There's George Carlin said, "Don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff."
That is true. All right, y'all ready for the quiz?
Quiz it up.
All right, let me. It is still 0-0 Mexico and England.
It got delayed, right?
No, it's going to 25th minute.
All right, yeah, but it did. So it started at 9:00.
All righty, so it's a America at 250. So historical questions this week. Good luck to everybody playing. Brandy, help us out, please.
25 questions, it says.
Is it? Damn, 25 questions. It's going to be a long quiz tonight. All right.
That's all right.
God.
Question number 1. On July 4, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence at a meeting in which city? New York, Boston, Philadelphia, or Baltimore?
Now, I know you know it's Philadelphia, but let me ask you,
Philly.
why do they call Philadelphia the city of brotherly love?
But Tom Hanks movie?
Good guess.
I mean,
Oh, the Bruce Springsteen song.
Isn't that what Philadelphia means?
That is exactly right. Philadelphia actually means, philo is the Greek for love.
Yeah, philos. Yeah. Well, no, philos is
and good dough too. Good dough.
That's different, but yes.
Oh, different.
Yep.
philos delphoi.
Right.
All right. Question number 2: Who was sitting on the throne of England when the American colonies declared independence? King Henry VIII, Queen Victoria, King Charles, or King George III?
Georgie.
Putting in pie, kissed the girls and made them.
You'll be back. It's King George III.
Wait and see.
I love that song.
That's so good.
That is such a good song from
So good.
I will send an armored battalion to remind you of my love.
Yes. So good.
Question number 3. How many terms did George Washington serve as President of the United States? Is it? Well, that's a large picture. 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Dos
I think
equis.
it's 1.
No, it's 2.
Is it 2?
That's why the unofficial rule was 2 until Franklin Delano Roosevelt was like, I'm going to run as long as I can until I have a.
Which wasn't long since he had polio.
Well,
I
he
know.
didn't run, but he
Yeah.
Oh,
he caught the eat stick in his
neat.
4th term.
Yep.
I learned something tonight.
Question number 4. Who served as George Washington's president of Vice? Ben Franklin, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, or
I feel like
John
this is a quiz on
Hancock?
Hamilton the musical and not on the American.
Okay.
Dude, Charlie
are-
did so well in 8th grade history because of Hamilton. Like, I will never, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Musicals.
Yep.
I love Hamilton. I'm not a huge
Saving the
musical
kids in
fan.
history.
Yeah.
He is. If it weren't for the
Adams.
Alien Sedition Act, he would be my
John
favorite president.
Adams.
Yeah,
Adams?
it's John
Really?
Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
I
bitchy
don't
John
know.
Adams.
First of all,
John's-
I mean, he was definitely the most enlightened man of his era, right? Wasn't a slave owner, which puts him miles
true.
ahead of all the other things. He and his wife were actual equals in the way they ran their family,
Yep.
and he just fucked up the Alien Sedition Act.
Yeah, he did.
XYZ is fair.
That was hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, John Adams, first president of Vice. What was his vice? Do you know?
Arguing.
There you go.
Par la
Question.
France. Vive la France.
Question number 5. In 1803, the U.S. Purchased the Louisiana Territory from which country? Already gave it to us. England, Spain, France, or Mexico? It was
France.
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 Yep.
France. Yeah, it
Can-
was huge.
Could France claim that back, saying that that was during the Napoleonic regime? and it was a
There are
different
people.
government?
There are people that are in the French government, like who have actually been trying to argue something similar to that, and it's
That would be
crazy.
amazing.
But there are people in Louisiana who actually want France to be able to buy it back.
Well, I mean, there are people in the Russian government who want Alaska back. So
Yep.
Oh, I know. But like Louisiana
Too bad,
was
so
huge.
sad.
Yep.
Thanks for New Orleans. Appreciate it.
I love my city.
Question number 6. Who wrote the Star Spangled Banner? Martha Washington, Irving Berlin, F. Scott Fitzgerald, or Francis Scott Key?
Francis Scott
Francis.
Key.
Who knocked down the bridge that was named after him?
What was the name of that ship? It was
I can't remember either.
yeah.
I can't
Awful.
remember.
It's not the Evermore,
No, that was the one that got stuck in the Suez.
the Suez Canal.
Yeah. That was devastating. Watching how quickly that thing came down.
All right, I got a good question for you. When did the Star Spangled Banner become the national anthem?
Oh, God,
It's actually
it's not that far long ago, right?
Yeah, it's the 1950s.
less than 100 years. I think it was during the Hoover administration, but less than 100 years.
It has been.
Yeah, because I can't remember what the
Holland has the longest continuously used national anthem.
Yeah, it's talking about
Written
Yep.
William the
1600s.
Orange. William
This
the
one's
Orange.
easy.
Yep.
All right, question number 7. What is a distinguishing feature of the Liberty Bell? It's made of gold. It's the largest bell ever cast. It's cracked, or it's never been rung.
So
Crack
I'm
is
not-
whack, y'all.
I'm not going to waste everybody's time, but after the quiz, when the show is over, anybody wants to stay online, I will tell the funniest bell joke you've ever heard.
Oh boy.
She
Yeah,
is correct.
It's cracked. No one knows for certain when or why the Liberty Bell is cracked, but most likely explanation. is
Nobody
it's
knows for sure. That's
it's
John
been developed-
Adams' secret right there.
Early in
Well,
the
I mean,
1840s.
they have some speculations, but like something that large, like with anything that large, like we had a crucible for firing glass, and like the tiniest imperfections in things can just make or destroy stuff like that.
Yeah. Question number 8. Which 2 U.S. presidents died on July 4th in the same year? Madison
Jefferson
and
and
Fillmore, Pierce and Buchanan, Arthur and Cleveland, or Jefferson and Adams?
Jefferson and Adams.
Yes, they were great rivals. The
But they became amazing correspondents at the end
Yeah.
of their lives.
Yeah, they were great. They were huge. They were friends. They were such friends.
Thomas
But-
Jefferson wrote on the day before he died, he knew it was coming, and he said, "Does Adams survive? The Liberty is insured."
Yeah. Oops. But that was it the election of 1800 that or the
Yes.
1804 no
1804.
1804 the barbs that were traded back and forth between them was pretty intense.
Well, and then
For that
Adams
time.
doesn't even come in second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question number 9. How many U.S. presidents have been born on July 4th? Is it 0, 1, 2, or 3?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think
I'm
I
going to
think
say
0.
I would agree with 0.
I don't think it's not 0.
Oh, Randy says 1.
Huh?
I'll go with 1.
Let's go.
Yeah,
one. Let's do
yeah.
it. Calvin Coolidge, Silent Cal, 30th president of the United
Closed-mouthed
States,
cow.
was born in Plymouth, Vermont, on July 4th, 1872. A famous story about Calvin Coolidge is that he went to a party and the woman walked up to him and says, "I've bet that I can get you to say more than 3 words tonight." And he looked at her and said, "You lose." Question number 10. E pluribus unum is the motto of the United States that appears on the front of the Great Seal of the United States. What does it mean?
Out of many, one.
Yeah, I pledge allegiance, out of many one, united we stand, or we the people. And it is
Yep.
out of many one. Considered the de facto motto of the United States until Congress passed an act in 1956 making "In God We Trust" the official motto, because that was the 1950s.
Yep.
Which is hilarious because the change in both that and the Pledge of Allegiance, the Pledge of Allegiance came from a Christian socialist minister.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't look at the original salute to the pledge.
Yeah, no, because it doesn't include God.
Well, no, the original salute to the pledge was the
Bellamy salute.
Yeah. Question number 11. Most people know that the bald eagle is the national bird of the United States, but which of the following is the national mammal? Holstein cow, grizzly bear, American bison, or North American beaver?
American bison.
Yeah, it's got to be the bison.
I agree.
Beaver is Canadian. We don't allow that Pakistani stuff here.
The what university is the beaver the animal for?
Babson. That's college. Well, that's college.
No.
I don't know about Babson, but there's a bigger one.
Oregon State.
No.
They're the ducks, aren't they?
Oregon is the ducks. Oregon State are the beavers.
Are they? All right. Well, I was thinking of MIT.
Oh, yeah, MIT.
Nature's
Babson
engineer.
College is
Yeah.
beavers as well. Question number 12. Oh, speaking of beavers, though,
49ers.
just a joke. The dirtiest news headline that I saw growing up was the Albuquerque Dukes played the Portland Beavers in a doubleheader, and Dukes won game 1, Beavers won game 2. The headline was "Dukes split Beavers."
Dum.
Dirty. Question number 12. The California gold rush sparked a massive migration of Easterners to the West. What was the nickname given to those fortune hunters? Gold bugs,
49ers.
Gold diggers, or prospector beats? I like the gold diggers, but you know.
Yeah, but it's 49ers.
Gold bugs is actually a term in the parlance as well. The people who are involved in gold speculation. But
49ers was the one that was used most prolifically.
Yep. Question number 13. The Civil War officially began when Confederate forces fired on the U.S. garrison at Fort Sumner in which year? 1860, 1861, 1862, or 1863?
1860. I should know this. It's in the 18. I know it's later 1860s.
It's 1861.
God damn it.
It is 61.
61.
Yep.
Yeah. Correct.
Fired April 12th, 1861.
Yep.
Question number 14. President Abraham Lincoln famous Gettysburg Address in 1863 during the height of the Civil War begins 407 years ago. How long is a score? 10, 20, 25, or 100 years?
I know.
20.
It is 20.
It is 20.
However, if you say 407 years ago, you're subtracting 87 years from 1863. And that leads you to
1776.
Correct.
Yep. A score is equal to 20 years. So President Lincoln, referring to in his address to a time 87 years ago, or 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was adopted. Question number 15. With the completion of America's first transcontinental railroad in 1869, a trip between the east and west coast took how long? 1 month, 3 weeks, 1 week, or 3 days? Had to be a month.
I mean, the difference between 1 month and 3
month.
weeks is so minor I would guess 3 weeks,
Not
but
not
a month
then,
is.
not then. Like another family story. My great great grandfather um
I
um
was thinking it was before, with the time before. So
grew cucumbers and strawberries on trellises, and he shipped them from Louisiana all the way out to Chicago and even to California for sale. And yeah, it is. I think it's a week,
yeah,
because
I was
that couldn't hold up. They
when
couldn't
I
survive.
when I read the question, I was thinking how long did it take before trains? This is after the trains were connected. I'd say
Yes.
1 week.
I'm saying
Yeah.
3 weeks. Damn.
Correct. The Transcontinental Railroad made it possible to transport passengers and freight between the east and west coast in just 7 days.
That's pretty amazing because they didn't have direct. Like, I mean, it was short hops from station to station.
I mean, that was prior to that. Like that, the connection between it was what made, like, the industrial, predominantly the that stage of the industrial revolution as powerful as it was.
Yeah.
So,
Question number
vive la
16.
France. France
Question
la
number
dixième fois.
16. The Statue of Liberty was a gift to the people of the United States, from which country? England, Spain, France, or Mexico? It was France.
Yep.
Yeah, it took 11 years. Or, I'm sorry, 9 years to construct. It is 1875 to 1884. I think they started constructing it. I think they can get it up in a year
Yeah.
for the 1876 and
Because the World's Fair.
yeah. Question 17. Which of the following was not invented by Thomas Edison?
I mean, nothing was
Telephone.
invented by Thomas Edison.
Well, which he didn't steal. Long-lasting light bulb, phonograph, electric copy machine, or swim fins.
I think it's
Phonograph.
the copy machine.
It's the phonograph.
No, he didn't. invent
Randy
phonograph.
says swim fins.
Swim fins.
Another podcast. Okay.
Okay.
Brandy's on a podcast. All right.
All right.
Correct. While Edison patented more than 1,000 inventions, swim fins were not among them. Founding father Benjamin Franklin was just 11 years old when he invented swing fins for his hand.
Wow.
Helped him propel him through the water. Also invented bifocals and the lightning rod.
He was, for the liberty, the absolute libertine of Benjamin Franklin and the inventions and things that were between him and, like, the genius of his sister, even though his sister had all the problems in the world, was kind of amazing. Like yeah, it's he was interesting.
All right. Question number 18. Which amendment to the United States Constitution granted American the women the right to vote? 2nd,
19th.
13th, 19th, or 27th?
19th.
Yep, it is the 19th.
They had
The
a
game
chance
is
to
not
actually
tied
put
anymore,
that
Dave.
on 19, but they didn't,
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
disappointed.
It's 2-0.
Yep.
Holy shit. We missed just a
goals.
couple goals from the
Who
English.
scored? Who
English.
scored?
England. I don't know. The way they're talking like it was Harry Kane.
Probably. Let's see. Question number 19. Which event triggered the Great Depression in the United States? Start of World War I in 1914, the global flu pandemic 18 to 20, the stock market crash in 1929, or the Great Plains drought of the 30s.
I would really combine it with the two, but
Yeah,
it's
the
the
last
stock
I wish
market
I
crash.
wish I wish they would combine things, because, like, the flu pandemic was definitely impactful. But yeah, the stock market crash,
Yeah.
it's the stock market crash.
Yeah, it is a stock market crash, but yeah, the drought.
Yeah,
But the
Exacerbated
Dust Bowl.
drought was what exacerbated it, not
Yeah.
caused it.
and it caused the great migrations of the
Yes.
Yep.
Midwest to the West Coast, which eventually led to the boom of the West Coast. So
But the flu, I will say, the stuff with the flu pandemic greatly impacted because of the humongous decrease of population.
sure,
Like you can't sustain that amount of loss and not have it trigger something.
Yeah. All right, question number 20. The United States entered World War II following the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. In which year did the war come to an end? 1944, 1945, 1946, or 47?
46. 46? Yeah.
45.
Four,
But I
yeah,
wanna,
you are right. 40,
for
45
Dave,
because
for Dave, I want to
my
know what
dad was a
days.
boomer. My dad was a boomer, and I didn't slip this in earlier. Um um and I wish I was here for it. My dad's birthday was on
Oh, Mexico scored.
19 was the day after, was literally the day after Trump's.
Oh, wow. Question number 21. Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin was the first human in space. Who was the first American? Was
know.
it Neil Armstrong? Was it Buzz Aldrin? Was it John Glenn? Or was it Alan Shepard?
John Glenn.
It is indeed John Glenn.
No, Alan
No.
Shepard.
What?
Oh,
Oh, John Glenn's the first
you
to
are
orbit the Earth.
that was a tricky one.
It was.
We should listen to Brandy.
Yep.
You should listen to Randy.
Question 22. America's space program also marked by tragedy. What was the name of the space shuttle that exploded shortly after liftoff in 1986? Was it Atlantis, Challenger, Discovery, or Endeavour?
I believe it's Challenger.
Challenger.
It was Challenger.
Somebody said, reason why Gen X is the way it is that, we all got to watch the teacher go up and they blew up. We didn't actually see it live, but they brought us into a classroom and we saw the replay of it like 300 times before they let us go for the afternoon. So we watched 7 people die like 300 times.
I was going to school in England at the time, and when somebody told me, I didn't believe them. And then when I saw it, I never felt further from home.
Well, it was so by that time the space shuttle, it used to be like when the space shuttle went up, everybody they brought all the classes into the library to watch it. By the time we got to 1986, it had gone up so many times, even though there was a teacher on board this flight, that our school was like one class will get to go watch it live. And so one of the other teachers got to take her 6th grade class into the classroom and into the library to watch the launch. And I remember I remember seeing our teacher just lose all the color in her face, but somebody whispered something in the classroom to her. And then we went to lunch and we saw the kids from that classroom. They all had 1,000-yard stares. Like, and that's when the rumor started. You started hearing like the shuttle blew up and all this stuff. And then they brought us into the classroom, and for the entire afternoon, we just watched this thing blow up over and over again.
I was 3 when it happened, and like I don't remember much of it, but I remember like just how freaked out people were. Like it's
a lot of people say Reagan.
We did have the TV for it, but like,
well, I think
my
a lot
dad
of people
was traumatized.
I think a lot of people say that Reagan's finest speech was his, after Challenger blew up, and his speech to the nation. I wouldn't disagree with that. I think it was a really good speech. But
yes.
All right, question number 23. The title of the 1998 romantic comedy "You've Got Mail" was expired by which online service? Prodigy, CompuServe, America Online, or MSN?
America Online.
Yes.
I still have some of those discs.
Do you still have some of those discs? Nice. Yeah, I think everybody still has some of those discs somewhere in their junk drawer or something along those lines. So pervasive all over the place. I saw somebody took a bunch of discs and tiled their pool with it, which kind of a cool idea.
Yep.
Question number 24. Which president signed a bill marking Juneteenth as a federal holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States? Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, or Joe Biden?
Biden.
It was Biden. The latest and greatest federal holiday.
I being that I am from New Orleans, and there is a very predominant community. Like, we have always said that it is the actual American Independence Day.
I mean, again, America has always progressed and which makes the last few years especially hard. But we've progressed
Oh,
to making things better. Oh, who
Slowly.
scored?
It's very slowly.
Very slowly, yeah. Who scored, Jane?
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm watching the replay.
Oh. All right, question number 25
It was a replay.
for 24 out of 25. The 250th birthday of the United States is also known as which of the following? Pentacentennial, decacentennial, hexacentennial, or semi-quincentennial? Semi-quincentennial.
I think it is semi-quincentennial.
It is the
It
semi-quincentennial.
is indeed.
250th anniversary is, or celebration of whatever that word is, or a
Semi-quincentennial.
sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial is actually better. I like that one.
I mean, I like both of them.
It's too much of a tongue tie to do that other one. But all right. So 24 out of 25, not bad at all.
I mean, it's the most we've ever gotten right on a quiz.
This is true. Yeah. So, all
Well,
right,
I mean,
Dan, what's your
I'm
joke,
back.
man?
All
Just
right,
saying.
here's the joke. After Quasimodo retires in Notre Dame, they need to find a replacement. The bishop puts an ad saying we need a bell ringer, and a guy shows up, and he's a veteran of the Napoleonic Wars, and he has no arms. And the bishop says, "My son, I would love to employ you, and we have many jobs here. I'm not sure that bell ringer is the right job for you." And he says, "Well, let me show you, Your Eminence, what I can do." And so he takes him up to the bell tower and says, "Behold," and he jumps up and he headbutts the bell, and the tone is so pure that the bishop starts crying. He's like, "That was amazing." He says, "Allow me to demonstrate further." And he jumps up. This time he hits one bell with one cheek, and then another bell with the other cheek, and just beautiful music. And he says, "That was phenomenal, my son." He's like, "You are hired. I want you to have the job." He says, "Let me show you one more thing, at Your Eminence." And he jumps up and he hits the first bell and he hits the second bell and he tries to hit the third bell, but he misses it, and he goes over the edge of the bell and he falls down to the ground and he dies. And one of the prime says, "Oh my God, we've got to notify his family." He's like, "Do you know his man's name?" He says, "I don't know his name, but his face rings a bell."
Oh, Jesus. God damn it.
So the next day, a guy shows up.
The next gay.
The next day, a guy shows up. Or the next day, a guy shows up. The next day, a guy shows up, and he says, "Your Eminence, my brother died here yesterday." Like, "Oh my God, we were trying to find family. We know where it is." Like, "In order to honor him, I would like to take the job." And he's like, that seems like a very fitting tribute. He's like, "But I'll need a demonstration." He's like, "Just take me up to the bell tower." And he takes him up to the bell tower, and the guy pulls a bell, and wow, such a miraculous sound. And it's almost as good as your brother's. It was amazing. He's like, "And can you do two in time?" Ding dong ding. That's really amazing. He's like, "Now, for the finale, we do a flourish. Here's the music. Do you think you can do that?" And he walks over to look at the music, but he trips on one of the lines and he falls off the edge and he also dies. And one of the bishops says, "Oh my God." He's like, "Do you know who that guy was? Did we finally get a family name?" He says, "I don't know who he was, but he's a dead ringer for his brother."
That was wonderful. I'm gonna get going now, but this
I
was
gotta go
great
watch
to
the
be
game
back
too.
on
It's
again.
halftime.
Yeah.
All right,
All right, everybody.
Go
All right,
Mexico.
we'll see you all
Viva la
next week.
Mexico.
Viva,
Mexico.
viva la Mexico.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
All right, bye.